University. Of course, the graduating class of 2022. I greatly appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to share some thoughts with you in your last moments here at Stanton County High School. A lot's happened since I first met most of you guys when you were fourth graders, and I had the honor of being one of your English teachers. It's been really neat to see you grow and mature over the years and turn into the people that you are today. It's been also a pleasure to be a part of a lot of your firsts in your life, from writing your first essays to watching you guys figure out how locker combinations work, seeing you guys have some of your first boyfriends and girlfriends and all the awkwardness that comes along with that, watching you guys possibly argue and debate over prom details and class float details, but then the very next day, being there to support each other and cheer each other on. I've really come to appreciate how much you guys can each be your own individual people, but are so united as a class as well. In speaking with many of you these past few months, one common theme I've heard expressed in your words is a little fear about what lies ahead. You're on the cusp of being in a whole new and unfamiliar environment, so it completely makes sense to have some nerves associated with that. But you know what? The best things usually lie on the other side of fear and discomfort. The best things in life won't be sitting for you, casually waiting within your comfort zones. I'm hoping I can share a lesson with you that's been pivotal in my own life. While it may sound paradoxical at first, I strongly believe that if you get stuck in doing easy things, your life will get harder. If you can learn to do hard things, your life gets easier over time. Now, does your life actually get easier and simpler, more simple? Not exactly, but once you fine-tune your gauge for what you consider hard, you get the chance to level up and experience new things that before you would have thought impossible. When I was in high school, my dad convinced me, after much prodding, to go out for cross country. My first day was absolutely miserable. I actually got bit by a dog and had to get stitches down my hand and my arm. My second day probably wasn't much better. We were supposed to run 3 miles. I barely made it 1 mile. I had to do the walk shame back to school. An elderly couple pulled over and asked if I needed help. Shortly after that, I made it finally to be able to run 2 miles, very, very slowly. And then finally, by the end of the season, I got to run 4 miles without stopping, and I felt like I could conquer the world. The rest of that cross-country season taught me that doing hard things seem really hard at first, but the more you do them, they're not so bad. I've seen you guys push into things that you don't want to do also over the years, whether it was showing up consistently to early morning practices, having an argument with a friend, but then being the person to go to that friend and make things right, or giving speeches in class. Those speeches in particular have been enjoyable to watch over the years because I remember your freshman year, some of you guys kind of asked me, well, could I just have a friend read the speech for me? Or could I just do the speech after school possibly, not in front of the class? But that first year, you guys got through speeches, possibly a little awkwardly, a little bit of confusing content, but you did it. Sophomore year came around, not many complaints. All the speeches got a little better. Junior year, I got to see how you guys began to develop an eloquence and an intentionality in what you wanted to say and how you wanted to say it. So it's been a joy to see you guys find your voice over the years. In life, there's a multitude of instances that come at us that we're not prepared for, we didn't ask to be a part of, or that we'd rather avoid. At times, you'll be tempted to take the easier route, the one of avoidance, of negating responsibility, possibly even blaming others for what's happening. But, like Dumbledore said, we must all face the choice between what's right and what's easy. You can take full accountability for what you do have control over, your actions and your attitude. Your biggest power, and yet potentially your biggest liability, is your attitude. The most significant challenges ahead are probably not going to be so much from external sources as they are from internal. You'll need to choose your actions with intentionality. It's not going to be that professor whose class is notoriously difficult to pass. It's going to be how you choose to respond to the work that's set before you. Probably not going to be that roommate or coworker who's seemingly impossible to get along with. It's going to be how you commit to being a person of integrity and honor in the way that you choose to speak to others and treat others. British writer Rudyard Kipling said, "Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears." Because really, what do we have to be afraid of? Of walking through the unknown? of disappointing someone, of failing and being judged or embarrassed, if you're moving towards something worthwhile, those things probably will happen. And it's likely that you'll experience those, and yet think how proud you'll be of the person you're becoming and how much better off you'll be for those around you because you aren't the kind of person who runs from hard things. The exciting part in all of this is that in embracing those little challenges daily, those things you may not feel like doing, but you know you need to do to become the person you want to be, you'll be angling yourself towards opportunities that aren't even on your radar right now. The things that will make you proudest of who you are aren't going to be found by doing what's easy. They're going to be in challenging yourself to live the life that you chose on purpose. And you all are so, so capable of that, if only you choose.